Welcome back, dear viewers. As we said earlier that we are going to talk about public speaking. How can we improve our presentation skills and self-confidence and self-esteem? And to shed more light on this issue, we are joined here in the studio with Ms. Yasmin El Baz. She is the live public speaking expert. Good morning, Yasmin.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me here.
Yes.
Good morning, Ms. Yasmin. To start with, what is meant by the term public speaking?
Well, public speaking is the act of speaking in front of people,
Yes.
either two individuals or even hundreds of people or even millions of people. So if you are standing in front of people, you are speaking, this is public speaking.
Yes.
And it's not just standing in front of on a stage and speaking to people. Even we are having like a conversation right now, this is public speaking. If you are in an interview and you are introducing yourself, this is public speaking. If you are in a meeting and you are presenting an idea or anything, this is a sort of public speaking. This is the broad meaning of the public speaking.
It is different from presentations?
Now, actual presentations is included in the public speaking, but as we said, it's even we having like a conversation, a one-to-one conversation, is a sort of public speaking. Making presentations is a sort of public speaking. Yes, exactly.
It's not all.
No, exactly. This is why we reach it to the point. There's a great difference between a presentation and a speech.
Yes.
If you are presenting a speech, it's more formal. You cannot use too many visuals. You cannot make too much interactions with the
Yes.
audience. On the other side, if you're making a presentation, it's
More interactive.
Yes, you can include too many interactions with the audience, and you can use definitely visuals like PowerPoint presentations and so on.
What is the significance of the public speaking, Ms. Yasmin?
Well, actually, public speaking does not only reflect on your professional life, even your personal life. Imagine yourself standing in front of people, speaking in front of hundreds of people. What about a single conversation? You will be a more confident person. You will feel more confidence about yourself. Something else that you will have a better self-expression, because when it comes to public speaking, you need to be more selective to what kind of words to use. So you will make good use of words to express yourself.
The public speaking in general, I should be more selective because you said that the public speaking could be one-to-one
Yes, exactly.
conversation. And it could be a speech to the people, and it could be a presentation.
Exactly.
So I should be selective in all these steps, even if it's one-to-one or only if I'm doing a public speaking for a bunch of audience.
No, definitely you have to be selective in all these terms, because you have to respect the time of your audience, respect the time of the other part of the conversation. In addition to this, you don't want to have a wrong reflection about yourself. You need to use the right words that expresses the idea that you want to deliver. So, in addition to better self-expression, you will be a more creative person, because if you have decided to stand in front of people to deliver a certain idea, you need to present it in a new way.
Yes.
People need to see something new. If you're going to stand there and
Not to
present...
get bored, because some
Exactly.
people during the public conversation or the public speaking, they do lose interest, they might fall asleep, or they might think about something else. So how can I attract the attention of my audience?
There are a lot of tools you can make use of them. Of course, using gestures is one of those tools. Using the body language and the variance in your vocal abilities. We have the intonation, the tone and rate. Intonation, what you are expressing through your voice, happiness, anger, sadness, and so on. Or the tone, the rise and fall of your voice.
Not
and
to be
the rate.
monotonous.
Exactly. Something else that you need to select a topic that is related to your audience. Don't keep talking about yourself. They need to feel that they are part of what you're saying. And definitely you can include interactions like questions, like visuals and so on. You can grab attention this way.
Yeah, indeed.
So why most people fear to speak in front of people, and how can they get over it?
The scientific term for being afraid from public speaking is called glossophobia. And it is the most common type of fear around the world. Can you imagine that? Public speaking, then we are afraid of death.
Yes.
So it's too common, it's natural, and there are 3 types of fears that are related to public speaking.
Yes.
The first type, which is related to the threats that's happening around you, while you are speaking. Like, for
External
example,
threats.
exactly. Like, for example, you see somebody at the back laughing, and you imagine that he's laughing
Yes.
on your performance, or somebody like steps in the room suddenly, and you have a brain freeze. Anything that's happening around you while you're speaking, this is the first type. The second type, which is related to the past negative experiences. When you are speaking in front of people, your mind starts playing some couple of tricks with you and starts reminding you with negative experiences when it comes to public speaking, like the past presentation or speech and so on. The third type, which is related to how important this event or the speech results on your career or life. So you start to be afraid if you mess up, you will lose things in your life and so on. How you can handle this? The first step is to really understand that it's completely fine to be afraid. It's too common. We said that it's the most common type of fear. The second thing that you can do is to relax. You need to relax. You need to prepare your body for that. Either to drink enough water so your body will cool down, to do breathing, yes, and not like this. This is the normal breathing. You need to take a deep breath in, keep it for 5 seconds, then let it go, and the stretching exercises. This will prepare your body that you have something important to do. In addition to this, you can stand up before you speak from 2 to 3 minutes so the blood can reach just fine to your mind, and so you don't feel like any dizziness or lack of balance and so on. This is the main things that you can do that can overcome the anxiety or the symptoms that might appear.
But I think
on
it
you.
takes some time to practice.
Definitely, definitely. And practicing is not to read from a paper or to be able to remember all the words.
Yes.
Actually, when it comes to rehearsal, you need to know what all the moves that you will include. If I will make a pause after a certain phrase, you need to know exactly when you do the pause. If you're going to ask a question, if you're going to move here or there, you need to know everything that is related to your speech. And in addition to this, you need to pay attention to the things that are totally unexpected that may happen. Like, for example, I'm prepared that I will do my full speech really well, but sometimes the audience laugh, and I'm not expecting that.
Yes.
So sometimes I forget everything that I was preparing. Or, for example, somebody steps in, I'm prepared on 30 minutes, somebody tells me, you have just 10 minutes to finish this.
Yes.
You need to be able to deal with all of these things.
Actually, now we have a speech for Martin Luther King, and it was one of the most effective speeches.
Yes, exactly.
And we'll have a look on it, and we'd like you to comment.
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Miss Yasmin, we have seen the speech by Martin Luther King, of course, many years ago. And we have seen how much he was charismatic.
Yes.
So, to what extent the charisma is representing a real element for the public speaking?
Charisma is more like a talent. That's something that you...
Is it inborn or something that we acquire?
No, I do believe that it's not acquired. So there's a great difference between being just a talented speaker and a professional speaker. So talent is not enough. So you need to know the technicality of presenting a really good speech. So if you have the charisma, but you do not know how to make use of it, how to be a professional speaker, you will lose it, and you will not perform a really good speech. This is the reply of your question. Well, regarding the speech, I love this speech so much. Not only he is charismatic, but he speaks with passion. You can feel each word that he's saying.
Yes.
And you can relate each word to his character and personality. And he's saying, I have a dream. He's speaking like, I'm
Is
one
it
of
because
you.
he's fighting for a cause that he used to believe in, or he
Definitely.
believed in so much?
Definitely, this is something to inspire and motivate people. If you are using a cause for something that all the audience can relate to, this is something that grabs the attention of the audience. In addition to this, you feel that he makes use of really good words. He is selective to the kind of words he uses. In addition to this, he plays on the emotions. If you look to the words he uses, the emotions are playing a great part, which gets us to the main
Because he's
components.
believing in what he is saying.
Indeed.
So you
Exactly.
advise all speakers to believe in what they are saying,
Yes.
to convince others.
Yes, nowadays the audience are not stupid. They
Yes.
will
Yeah.
figure out if you are cheating or
Yes.
deceiving them. And regarding the emotion part, when it comes to the component of your speech, you need to have like 65% playing on the emotions. Then comes the logic, then the credibility. When we stand in front of people, we do believe that if we speak with more logic, people will relate to what we are saying. No, actually you need to play on the emotions more often. It will have a greater influence on your audience.
Yes. Also, can you tell us some tips to deliver a better public speech?
Well, public speaking is a skill that you need to practice.
Yes.
It's about practicing.
Yes.
So you will learn by doing. You need to find activities to participate in to make more speeches and presentations. You need to volunteer in things to perform more, because this is how you will enhance your skills. Something else that you need to select the topic that you can relate to, and you are the most credible representation for the topic, because the audience will always ask themselves why we should listen to that person in such topic. That's number two. Number three that you can do is to tell stories.
Yes.
People love stories. They can relate to it, they can remember it, and it's easily to comprehend. So make use of stories.
Not
to-
only points or just
Exactly.
talking.
Stories, it's fun, and people will always remember the story you share. Something else that you need to make use of the gestures, as we said, but not too much gestures.
Yes.
I always say that your voice is your right arm, while your body language is your left arm. So make use of them in a way that help
Combine
the content. Yes, exactly. That combine between them and can help the verbal
Yes.
communication that you are delivering.
So, yes, go ahead.
What about the most common wrong things that a person can do during delivering a speech?
The first most common problem that when a speaker stands on a stage, he only think of himself. You start concentrating on how you feel, on how great I should look and everything. Your concentration must be on the audience, because they are the
Yes.
most important thing and most important factor in public speaking. That's something. Something else is that when we know that we have a speech or presentation, we go and find a paper and we start writing our speech.
Yes.
No, you should think of the idea and start selecting like 3 main points here that you will deliver. Then say what you're going to deliver, then write it.
Yes.
Why? Because we write great things on paper, but once we take the paper and start telling it, we find it's hard on our tongue, hard on our vocal abilities. So you need to think of it, then write it. Something else is that we start our speech like, I'm going to speak about 1, 2, 3. No, don't ruin your opening. Start with an interaction. Ask people a question. Don't you agree on something? So they will nod their heads or they will reply you. Or start with a story. Grab their attention this way. And at the end, at the closure, most people end their speech or presentation, and that was the end of my presentation. Thanks in each and every one. No, they
Yes.
need to, we call this audience takeaway. Don't just motivate people and end your speech and that's it and go. No, just gather all the main points that you have talked or have tackled and put them in a final recommendation, or like we're saying, action versus benefit. If you did that, you will gain that.
So, in your opinion, can anyone be a public speaker, or someone have character? Some people have character barriers.
I do believe the only barrier that can stand between you and being a really good public speaker is the ego. If you have that ego when standing in front of people,
Yes.
you will lose the bond that should happen between you and
Or
the
lack of
audience.
self-confidence.
Well, that
Yes.
we can work in that.
Yes.
Actually, we can handle
Yes.
that. But I do believe the biggest barrier is the ego, not the lack of self-confidence.
Yes.
Yes.
So, how do you work on the ego? There should be an answer to this.
Well, first of all, you need to understand what I said, that the core of interest for you should be the audience,
Yes.
because they will judge you, and because you are standing there either to inspire them, to motivate them, or to convince them with something. So the effectiveness or the good results will come from the audience. So you need to understand that. You need to evaluate your past presentations and speeches. If you looked at them, I was concentrating too much on myself, so I didn't get the results that I wanted. So
Yes.
you need to make a continuous evaluation for yourself.
Ms. Yasmin, how I can judge that this person is a good public speaker? Because as we have been saying that it needs training as well. How can I have the faith in myself that with training I could be a good public speaker? Because sometimes people are having high fears because of what we have been talking about, and then I could retreat from that field, of course.
First of all, you need to understand that if you were able to stand up and participate, this is the first step.
Yes.
We call the chair that we are standing here, this is the comfort zone.
Yes.
So we feel safe and so on. If you were able to stand in front of people, this is the first step. So feel fine and okay about yourself that you have achieved something. Second thing, you need to put logical objectives for yourself. If this is the first time for you to stand in front of people, you can't put a result that everything should be perfect. No. Put a first objective that you will finish the whole presentation till the end, because sometimes some people are too afraid to even complete their full speech or presentation, and they stop in the middle and they go back to their seat. So if you were able to finish the whole presentation or speech,
Yes.
this is an achievement. Something else, you need to video record your speeches and your rehearsals and evaluate yourself. How was my movement? I was speaking too fast or too slow. What about the filler words? We call the filler words, which is yani in Arabic. So you need to monitor that, because you don't need to make too many filler words. Replace them with pause. And how about the movement? Was it suitable with the content or so on? And ask yourself at the end, will I be interested to attend such a speech or presentation?
Yes.
If you said yes, then you are ready to go.
So, what about the importance of the body language? How can we control it?
Well, the body language is very important. When it comes to communication, we say like 93% of what people perceive is the non-verbal communication.
Yes.
7% compared to the main message or the verbal communication. What you need to do is to maintain a balanced posture. You need to stand straight. Okay, you don't need to do fidgeting like standing back and forward or left and right.
Yeah.
You need to stand straight, stable. If you then make open posture, your palms are towards the audience,
Yes.
and you start speaking. And it's always great to start your speech with a smile.
Yes.
And express the content of your speech with facial expressions, of
Yes.
course. Something else, if you're going to move, you need to move smoothly. We should not be distracted with your movement. And you need to monitor that. Look at yourself. Okay, I'm maintaining a really stable posture. Okay, then you're ready to go to start moving here and there.
Okay, Miss Yasmin El Baz, a public speaking expert, thank you for being with us
Thank you
today.
so much.
Thank you
I
very
enjoyed
much,
it.
Miss Yasmin. And with that, our dear viewers, we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Show. You were in the company of myself, Maïsi Rabia, and my dear colleague, Shireen Adil. Thank you very much, Shireen.
Thank you, Mahisti, and hope you have a good day, dear viewers, and see you tomorrow with a new crew.